She said, "You're too young, I'm older than you." I replied, "Love doesn't care about age." The wind carried a faint scent of the alien flora that surrounded them, strange, sweet, and entirely unfamiliar. The colony's settlement was still visible on the horizon, small and orderly, but Aaron preferred the wild landscapes beyond. Here, the planet whispered secrets that only those who truly listened could hear. Aaron knelt beside a cluster of glowing ferns, scanning the plant life with a small handheld analyzer. The device hummed softly as it processed the readings. These ferns weren't like anything Aaron had studied on Earth. They responded to touch, gently shifting their fronds when approached. The sensation was almost like the plant was alive in a way humans could feel, not just see. "Fascinating," Aaron murmured to themselves. "You really are more aware than anything back home." From the edge of the clearing, a soft, deliberate voice answered. "They are aware, but only because they have learned to listen." Aaron jumped slightly, turning toward the voice. There, emerging from the shadows of the larger alien trees, was a figure in a worn exploration suit. Her hair, streaked with silver, caught the last light of the twin suns. Despite her age, she moved with quiet grace and confidence. Aaron felt an unexpected wave of awe. "I didn't hear you come," Aaron admitted, feeling a little embarrassed. I'm Aaron, I'm new here." "I know who you are," she said, her eyes gentle yet sharp. "I'm Elira. I've been studying this region for almost 20 cycles." "You must be one of the new engineers assigned to field research." "Yes," Aaron replied, standing up fully. "I couldn't wait to see the world outside the colony. I've read all the reports, but seeing it's completely different." Elira smiled faintly. "The reports never capture the soul of a place. That's why I spend my life here." She gestured toward the ferns. "Do you know why these plants respond to touch?" Aaron shook their head. "I think it has something to do with chemical signaling, maybe even low-level neural activity. But I've never seen anything that behaves this intentionally." "They are aware," Elira repeated, her voice almost a whisper. "But awareness does not mean understanding. Humans have that gift, though. That is why I trust you will see more than the rest of the colony ever could." Aaron's chest warmed at the unexpected trust in her words. Elira's gaze held a depth that felt like looking into an entire universe of experience. Yet, despite the connection forming between them, Aaron sensed a pause in her eyes, as if something unspoken lingered. "I should warn you," Elira said finally, her voice softening. "I am older than you, far older, and experience teaches caution." Aaron's heart skipped. "I know that," they said quickly, "but love or connection doesn't care about age. You can't let a number define what you feel, or what you might discover together." Elira's lips curved into a small, almost imperceptible smile. She looked away, scanning the horizon with the practiced eyes of someone who had spent decades reading a planet instead of people. "You speak with such certainty. It's rare. You remind me of myself at your age, perhaps too reckless, yet full of wonder." The wind shifted, and the ferns bent slightly, as if in agreement. Aaron laughed softly, feeling a strange sense of companionship with this distant stranger. "I don't want to be reckless, I want to see the world as it truly is." "You will," Elira said, turning back to them. Her eyes held a mixture of hesitation and curiosity. "If you are willing to listen and not just look, this planet will teach you things you cannot imagine." The two of them walked side by side along a narrow trail, the alien trees forming arches above them. Elira shared stories of her time on Virelia II, how she had learned to read the shifting light patterns of the plants, how the wind could carry messages if one knew how to hear. Aaron listened, captivated not only by the stories but by the way Elira spoke. Her voice was steady, calm, yet alive with wonder. Hours passed. The suns had dipped below the horizon, and the sky glimmered with the first faint stars of the Virelian night. Aaron pulled a small lantern from their pack, its glow pale but comforting. Elira knelt beside a cluster of plants that shimmered faintly in the dark, her hands moving gently over the leaves. They are responding to our presence, Elira said quietly. Not because we command them, but because we acknowledge them. Humans have a gift for this, connection without demand, curiosity without arrogance. It is rare, but it is ours. Aaron watched her, feeling a rush of admiration and something more complex, something deeper than respect. I think I understand, they said softly. It's not just about the science, it's about feeling the world, really feeling it. Elira's gaze met theirs, and for a moment, words were unnecessary. There was a bridge forming between them, one that transcended age, experience, and expectation. It was fragile, delicate, but undeniable. Finally, Elira straightened, brushing off her suit. "We should head back," she said, her voice gentle but firm. "Tomorrow, I will show you something I have never revealed to anyone, something that may change how you see this world and perhaps yourself." Aaron's heart leapt with anticipation. "I can't wait." As they walked back toward the colony under the glow of the twin moons, Aaron realized something important. This world was vast and strange, full of mysteries beyond imagination. Yet it was the people, humanity itself, that made it possible to explore, understand, and cherish it. Elira had reminded them of that truth, and in doing so had sparked a connection that promised to grow alongside the wonders of Virlia II. The night was quiet, except for the soft rustle of the ferns in the wind. And in that quiet, Aaron felt a new kind of certainty. That discovery, friendship, and perhaps even something deeper were not limited by age, distance, or fear. They were defined by courage, curiosity, and the willingness to connect. And on that first night, under alien stars and between two human hearts, a story began. A story of wonder, of learning, and of the timeless gift of humanity. The next morning, the twin suns rose slowly over the horizon, casting long golden streaks across the alien landscape. Aaron awoke in their small colony pod, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and nervousness. Last night's encounter with Elira had left a mark on their mind, a spark that made every moment of life on Virlia II seem richer, more vivid. Aaron quickly dressed in their exploration suit, checking the analyzers, sensors, and handheld scanner. Today, Elira had promised to reveal something special, something she had never shown to anyone before. That promise alone made Aaron's steps lighter as they headed toward the edge of the colony where Elira waited. Elira was already there, standing beside a hovering cart filled with strange equipment. Her silver hair caught the sunlight, and she looked at Aaron with a quiet smile. "Ready?" she asked. "As ready as I'll ever be," Aaron replied, feeling their own voice tremble slightly with anticipation. Elira led the way along a narrow path that wound between towering alien plants. The landscape was more unusual here. The ferns shimmered in shades of blue and green, and clusters of crystal-like formations sparkled in the sunlight. Occasionally, a soft hum filled the air, as though the planet itself was breathing. Aaron had never seen anything like it. "These formations," Elira began, "are unique to this region. They respond to energy, not electrical energy like your machines, but something deeper. Emotional energy, if you will. Curiosity, wonder, even fear. They can sense it and reflect it back." Aaron paused, staring at a crystal formation that pulsed faintly as Elira approached it. "Reflect it back? You mean like it can understand feelings?" "Not understand exactly," Elira said carefully, "but it can respond. It adapts to the presence of conscious beings. It shows us who we are in a way." Aaron reached out hesitantly. The crystal shimmered brighter, reacting to their touch. A warm, tingling sensation spread up their arm. "It's beautiful," they whispered. "It feels like it's alive." "Yes," Elira said softly, watching them closely. "It feels alive because we make it alive with our attention. Humanity has a rare gift, you see. We can connect to the world in ways this planet or any other cannot. Logic alone would not reveal this." Aaron's eyes widened. "So, humans are special here," Elira nodded. "You could say that. Our curiosity, empathy, and ability to wonder. These traits allow us to explore, understand, and sometimes even communicate with life forms that would ignore others. That is why I believe in the potential of every new explorer who comes here. That is why I trust you. Erin's heart beat faster at her words. It was more than just encouragement, it felt personal. But before they could respond, Elira turned and gestured toward a strange formation deeper into the forest. "This is what I wanted to show you," she said. They approached a large, circular structure made entirely of crystalline columns. The columns glowed softly, and a faint hum resonated through the air. Aaron felt a strange pull, as if the formation itself was calling to them. "What is it?" Aaron asked, eyes wide. "It is a communicator," Elira explained. "Not for humans, not yet, but it was built long ago by a species that once lived here. They left messages encoded in this structure, messages meant for anyone who could understand them." Aaron ran their fingers along the smooth crystal. A faint vibration tingled through their hands. "So, this is like a puzzle." "Yes," Elira said, kneeling beside them. "But it's more than a puzzle, it is a bridge. To understand it, you must use more than your mind. You must use your feelings, your instincts, and your sense of connection. That is why I have never shown it to anyone before. Most humans try to solve it with logic, but it cannot be understood that way." Aaron's mind raced. "And you think I can?" "I hope you can," Elira said, her voice gentle but firm. "Age, experience, and caution are valuable, but sometimes the young have a gift that the old have forgotten. Fresh eyes, open hearts, that is what is needed here." The young explorer felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. They knelt beside the communicator, studying the patterns etched into the crystal. They looked like waves, twisting and bending, but as Aaron watched, they began to shift subtly, as if responding to their presence. "Do you see that?" Elira asked. "It reacts to your attention, not just your hands, but your curiosity, your wonder. It recognizes life in its purest form." Aaron focused. Slowly, the patterns began to form shapes, images that were faint but unmistakable. They showed landscapes, creatures, and strange symbols, and at the center, a glowing orb seemed to pulse with a rhythm that resonated deep within Aaron's chest. "It's beautiful," Aaron breathed. "It's like it's alive and it's happy to see us." Elira nodded, her eyes bright. "Exactly. That is why humans are important here. Our empathy allows us to connect with life forms, even alien ones, in ways no other species can. You are part of something bigger, Aaron, something that will define the future of this colony and perhaps humanity itself." Aaron's mind swirled with the possibilities. For the first time, they truly felt the weight of being human, not just in the sense of biology, but in terms of emotion, creativity, and connection. It was a heady feeling, and they could see Elira watching them carefully, as if measuring the depth of their understanding. Hours passed. They worked together, touching the crystal, observing the changes, and speaking softly to it. The communicator pulsed with each word, each movement, each heartbeat. Aaron began to sense a rhythm, a pattern that seemed to respond to their emotions. It was not just a puzzle, it was a conversation, silent but profoundly clear. At one point, Aaron looked up at Elira. "I understand why you were hesitant before. It's incredible, but it's delicate. It's not just a machine, it's life in its own way. I can see why age and experience matter, but also why curiosity is needed." Elira's expression softened. "And I see why youth matters too. You have a gift that I once had, and perhaps still do in small measure. But you remind me of the joy of discovery, the fearless joy of reaching for something new." They paused together, watching the orb at the center of the communicator pulse gently. It was a beautiful, mesmerizing sight, one that seemed to reflect the connection between the two humans as much as the life of the alien structure itself. Aaron realized then that Elira's earlier warning about age was not a barrier but a bridge. Experience and caution were valuable, yes, but openness and courage, the willingness to connect without fear, were equally important. And in that realization, a deeper understanding of Elira's presence and importance emerged. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, Elira finally straightened, brushing her hands over the crystalline surface. We should record our findings and return to the colony. But know this, Aaron, what we discovered today is only the beginning. This communicator has more to teach us, more to reveal, and it will do so not because we command it, but because we honor it with our hearts and minds united. Aaron felt a surge of determination. I promise, I'll do my best to understand it and to honor it, together. Elira looked at them, her eyes soft but intense. Together, she repeated. On the way back, the two walked in silence, their steps in rhythm with the quiet pulse of the alien forest. Aaron felt a sense of purpose unlike anything before. This was more than exploration. It was a connection to something vast, something ancient and uniquely human. As the colony came into view, Aaron glanced at Elira. I never expected to find someone like you here, they admitted softly. Elira's smile was gentle, almost wistful. And I never expected to see this world through your eyes. Age is only a number, Aaron. Connection, understanding, curiosity, these are timeless. Aaron's heart lifted at her words. They had learned something important that day, not just about the alien world, but about humanity itself. Humans were more than explorers. They were connectors, listeners, learners. And in that, Aaron saw the endless potential that lay ahead, not just for the colony, but for themselves and for the bond forming between them and Elira. As night fell, the twin moons rose over Virlia II, bathing the colony in soft silver light. Aaron lay in their pod, staring at the stars through the thin glass, thinking of the shimmering communicator and the strange pulse of life it had shared. Tomorrow promised more discovery, more lessons, and more connection. And Aaron knew one thing clearly. Whatever mysteries this world held, they would face them with Elira by their side, learning together, and embracing the timeless gift of humanity in all its wonder. The next morning, Aaron awoke to the soft hum of the colony's life support systems. Sunlight filtered through the small window of their pod, illuminating the scattered notes and sketches from yesterday's discoveries. Aaron's mind was already racing with thoughts of the communicator and its strange pulse of life. Today, Elira had promised something even greater. The thought of it sent a shiver of anticipation through Aaron. They quickly dressed in their exploration suit and grabbed the portable data pad that stored their recordings of the communicator. The path to Elira's research station felt shorter somehow, as if the planet itself knew where they were going. Elira was waiting at the edge of the clearing, her silver hair catching the first light of the twin suns. She held a small, round device that pulsed softly, matching the rhythm of the communicator from yesterday. "Good morning," she said, her voice calm but filled with a quiet excitement. "Are you ready to see what lies beyond the patterns we discovered?" Aaron nodded, unable to hide their excitement. "I've been waiting for this moment. I want to understand, Elira. I want to see it all." Elira led the way through the forest, past the glowing ferns and shimmering crystals, to a secluded clearing that neither Aaron nor anyone else in the colony had ever explored. At the center stood a structure far larger and more complex than the communicator, a crystalline tower that seemed to pulse with a gentle, almost living light. "This," Elira said, her voice reverent, "is the heart of the signal. It is older than anything we have seen on this planet. I believe it contains a message, left long ago by a species that once thrived here, and I think only humans can fully understand it." Aaron stepped closer, eyes wide with awe. The tower's surface shimmered like liquid glass, reflecting the twin suns and casting dancing patterns across the ground. "It's beautiful," Aaron whispered. "It's like it's alive, but not in the way we usually think, more like it understands us." "Exactly," Elira said. "It responds to intention, curiosity, and empathy. Logic alone will not unlock its secrets. You must feel it, sense it, and allow it to guide you." Aaron approached the tower carefully, placing their hands on the smooth surface. The moment their fingers made contact, a pulse of light traveled up their arms, and a warm sensation spread through their chest. The tower seemed to respond to their heartbeat, their thoughts, their very presence. "It's communicating," Aaron breathed. "But not with words, not like humans speak. It's showing me something." Elira nodded, her eyes softening with pride. "Yes, it is a language of life itself. Images, patterns, feelings, all combined. You are seeing it as it truly is." Aaron's mind was flooded with visions. They saw landscapes unlike anything on Virlia II, creatures of strange forms, and symbols that seemed to pulse with meaning. At the center of it all was a glowing orb, radiating warmth and light. It felt as if the tower was alive, and yet it was not merely alive. It was thinking, sensing, reaching out. "Do you understand?" Elira asked gently. "What it is showing you?" I think so," Aaron replied, their voice trembling. "It's asking for connection. It wants to share knowledge, but it needs us to approach it with trust, not fear." Elira smiled faintly. "You are beginning to see the truth. This species left their wisdom behind not as a tool but as an invitation. They trusted that the beings who found it would be capable of empathy, creativity, and understanding. That is why they left it for humans. Our uniqueness, our humanity, is what allows us to engage with it." Aaron's heart swelled with awe. Humanity, with all its curiosity, emotion, and compassion, was being recognized as a bridge to understanding something far greater than themselves. The realization was both humbling and exhilarating. For hours they studied the tower, tracing the patterns with their hands and speaking softly to it. Slowly, the images began to make sense. The tower contained knowledge of ecosystems, energy flows, and methods of communication that no human had ever imagined. It was a treasure trove of insight, waiting for someone who could perceive not just the surface but the essence beneath. At one point, Aaron looked at Elira, eyes bright with excitement. It's incredible. We could learn so much from this. Not just about the planet, but about life itself, and it's all waiting for us to understand." Elira's gaze was soft, almost wistful. "Yes, but remember, it is not a resource to be mined. It is a partner. We must approach it with respect and patience. Our emotions, our willingness to connect, are just as important as our intellect." Aaron nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on their shoulders. This was no ordinary discovery. The knowledge within the tower could change the way humanity understood life, communication, and perhaps even themselves. And it was their empathy, courage, and collaboration that would allow them to unlock it. As they worked, a faint vibration traveled through the ground beneath their feet. The tower pulsed brighter, responding to their focused attention. Aaron could feel a rhythm forming, a dialogue of sorts. They experimented with gestures, touching specific patterns and speaking softly to the tower. Each action elicited new images, new patterns of light, and new feelings that resonated deeply. Elira watched carefully, occasionally guiding Aaron's hand or suggesting a subtle change in approach. "See how it responds to patience," she said. "Do not rush it. Let it reveal itself naturally." The gift of understanding is not a reward for speed, but for attention, empathy, and care. Hours passed like minutes. The sun climbed higher, casting intricate shadows across the clearing. Aaron felt a profound sense of connection, not only to the tower but to Elira, to the planet, and to something greater than themselves. This was a moment of pure human potential, curiosity, creativity, and empathy merging with the mysteries of the universe. Finally, the tower's glow intensified, reaching a brilliance that made both of them pause. And then, just as suddenly, it settled into a steady, gentle pulse. Aaron could feel a sense of completion, a message sent, acknowledged, and reciprocated. "It is done," Elira said softly, her eyes reflecting the tower's glow. "It has accepted our presence and our willingness to understand. This is only the beginning, Aaron. The knowledge here is vast, but it will reveal itself slowly over time through patience and connection. Aaron exhaled deeply, feeling a mixture of awe and gratitude. I never imagined anything like this. It's more than knowledge, it's a reminder of what makes humans unique. Our ability to feel, to connect, to wonder, it's what allows us to bridge worlds. Elira's gaze softened. Exactly. Age, experience, caution, they are important, but they are not everything. Connection, courage, and curiosity, these are timeless. These are the qualities that define humanity at its best. As they left the clearing, the tower's light fading behind them, Aaron felt a renewed sense of purpose. This world, this discovery, and this connection were reminders that humanity's greatest strength was not in machines or weapons, but in empathy, creativity, and collaboration. Walking side by side, Aaron and Elira returned to the colony, their minds alive with ideas and possibilities. The communicator, the tower, and the pulse of life within them had shown a truth that could not be measured or quantified. Humanity was capable of understanding, connection, and wonder beyond what they had ever imagined. That night, as Aaron lay beneath the twin moons, they thought of the tower and its silent dialogue. They thought of Elira and the quiet bridge forming between them. And they understood something deeply and clearly. The future of humanity was not just in exploration or discovery, but in the courage to connect, to understand, and to embrace the timeless gift of empathy. Tomorrow promised more lessons, more insights, and perhaps even more revelations. And Aaron knew, with a certainty that warmed their heart, that whatever mysteries awaited, they would face them with Elira by their side, and with humanity's unique spark lighting the way. The morning on Virlia II was crisp, with a gentle breeze stirring the alien ferns. Aaron woke with a sense of purpose stronger than ever. Yesterday's encounter with the crystalline tower had changed something inside them. The pulse of the tower, its silent communication, had left an imprint not only on their mind, but on their understanding of what it meant to be human. Aaron quickly prepared for the day, packing their data pads, portable analyzers, and a small container of nutrients. Their heart raced with anticipation because Elira had promised that today they would begin interacting with the alien signal directly, not just observing it. Elira was waiting at the edge of the colony, holding the small, humming device that mirrored the pulse of the tower. Her eyes sparkled with quiet excitement, but a trace of caution lingered. "Today we step further," she said softly. "It is one thing to observe the tower, Aaron. It is another to engage with the signal it sends. We must be careful yet open. Ready." "As ready as I'll ever be," Aaron replied, their voice steady despite the nervous flutter in their chest. They walked together through the glowing forest, past familiar clusters of shimmering ferns toward the tower. But today, Aaron noticed subtle changes. The alien plants seemed more responsive, swaying gently as if greeting them. The faint hum in the air was louder, rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat matching their own. At the base of the tower, the air shimmered with energy. Elira placed the device against the crystalline surface, and a stream of light flowed from the tower into it. The light pulsed in patterns like waves of thought. "The signal," Elira explained, "is not a language we know. It is thought, feeling, and intention all combined. Yesterday we observed. Today we respond. Your creativity, your empathy will guide us. The tower can sense you, Aaron. It can sense both of us, but it reacts most strongly to curiosity and honesty of heart." Aaron's fingers hovered over the device. They took a deep breath, closing their eyes for a moment to focus on intention. It felt strange, almost magical to communicate without words. Slowly, they placed their hand on the device, sending a gentle thought of greeting, curiosity, and wonder. The tower responded immediately. Patterns of light shifted, forming new symbols, shapes, and images. Some resembled landscapes, others strange, alien beings. At the center, a glowing orb pulsed in time with Aaron's heartbeat. "It's responding," Aaron whispered. It understands, it's like a mirror of my thoughts. Elira smiled softly, her eyes warm. It reflects our humanity, Aaron. Our ability to feel, to imagine, to connect. These are things no machine, no alien species could replicate in the same way. It is why we are capable of communication here. Hours passed. Aaron and Elira experimented with gestures, movement, and thought. Sometimes they spoke softly aloud. Other times they simply focused on feeling the world around them. The tower pulsed brighter each time they acted with authenticity. It was as if it rewarded honesty, curiosity, and empathy. At one point, Aaron looked at Elira. I understand now, it's not just about the signal, it's about how we connect to it. Age doesn't matter. Experience is useful, yes, but creativity, openness, and curiosity, that's what matters most. Elira's eyes softened. You are beginning to see why I trusted you. I've spent decades here studying and observing. But your perspective, your fresh eyes, your unafraid heart, that is what allows progress. Humans are capable of bridging worlds not through technology alone, but through connection. As the sun reached its peak, the tower pulsed in a rhythm that felt almost like it was guiding them. A series of images formed, a network of lights stretching across the planet, converging into a single point. It was a map, a signal pointing to something beyond what they had seen. What does it mean? Aaron asked, their voice trembling with awe. It is inviting us, Elira said quietly. Not demanding, not commanding, but inviting. It wants us to explore further, to learn more, to connect beyond the limits of what we know. It trusts us. A warm glow enveloped both of them, a gentle reminder that this alien presence recognized their humanity. Aaron's chest filled with wonder. They had never felt anything so profound, a combination of discovery, connection, and understanding that seemed almost sacred. The day passed with continuous exploration. Aaron and Elira worked as a team, responding to the signal, observing its changes and documenting patterns. They began to notice subtle nuances. Some pulses were faster when they acted with intention, others slower when they hesitated. The tower seemed alive, but in a way that complemented human thought, not mimicked it. At one point, Elira stopped and turned to Aaron. Do you feel it? That moment when hesitation almost stops you, Aaron nodded. Yes, and then when I let go, when I focus only on curiosity and connection, it responds. That is why humanity is important here, Elira said softly. We are capable of empathy, creativity, and intuition. Those are strengths that cannot be replicated by logic alone. They are what allow us to reach beyond what is known. As the twin suns began their descent, the tower pulsed brighter than ever. Aaron realized that something remarkable had happened. Their interaction with the tower had produced new patterns, insights that Elira had never observed before. The combination of youth, creativity, and curiosity had broken through barriers that experience alone could not overcome. Aaron looked at Elira, eyes wide. We did it. I think we actually communicated with it. Not just understood it, but shared something. Elira's eyes shone with pride. Yes, and this is just the beginning. There are layers upon layers waiting for us to explore. Humanity's unique gifts, our ability to connect, imagine, and feel, are what will unlock them. You see, Aaron, age, fear, or doubt cannot limit what we can achieve when we work together. They paused together, watching the gentle pulse of the tower. The air seemed alive, carrying whispers of discovery, possibility, and understanding. Aaron felt a deep sense of connection, not only to the tower and its signal, but to Elira, to the planet, and to something greater than themselves. Tomorrow, Elira said finally, we will take our first step toward the center of the signal. There is something it wants to reveal, something that may change the way we see the universe and ourselves. Aaron's heart leapt. I'm ready. I want to understand, Elira. I want to see it through no matter what. Elira smiled, her expression gentle but firm. And you will. Together, as they returned to the colony under the glow of the twin moons, Aaron reflected on the day's lessons. Curiosity, empathy, and courage had allowed them to break barriers that experience alone could not. They had begun to understand why humans were special, not because of technology, strength, or numbers, but because of the capacity to feel, connect, and imagine. That night, Aaron lay beneath the alien sky, staring at the distant moons and the shimmer of distant stars. They thought of the tower, the pulse of the signal, and the bridge forming between themselves and Elira. Humanity's future, they realized, was not in conquest or control, but in understanding, connection, and the courage to embrace the unknown. And in that quiet night, a promise was made, not just to the alien signal, but to themselves, to Elira, and to the world beyond. Humanity would meet the mysteries of the universe with open hearts, imagination, and a spirit of wonder. The next day, the signal would reveal its next secret, and Aaron and Elira would be ready. The morning light on Violia II was softer than usual, casting gentle streaks of gold and violet across the alien landscape. Aaron awoke with a mixture of excitement and nervous anticipation. Today, they would finally reach the center of the signal. The part of the crystalline tower that Elira had promised would reveal its deepest secrets. Aaron quickly packed their portable analyzers and data pads, their fingers trembling slightly with eagerness. For weeks, humanity's curiosity, courage, and empathy had been tested, stretched, and rewarded. They had seen the pulse of the tower, the living patterns of the communicator, and now they were about to step into the heart of an intelligence far older and wiser than anything humans had imagined. Elira was already waiting, her silver hair catching the first rays of sunlight. She held the small device that mirrored the tower's pulse, her eyes reflecting the glow of their shared anticipation. "Are you ready?" she asked softly, though her voice carried a quiet excitement that matched Aaron's own. "I'm ready," Aaron replied firmly. "I want to see it all. I want to understand." Together, they walked through the alien forest, past the glowing ferns and shimmering crystals. Every plant seemed to respond to their presence, bending and swaying as if welcoming them to witness what lay ahead. The air was thick with the hum of life, the pulse of the planet, the tower, and perhaps something even greater. At the base of the tower, the light pulsed gently, as if recognizing them. Elira placed the device against the crystalline surface, and a stream of flowing energy connected the device to the tower. The patterns of light shifted, forming complex, intertwining shapes that seemed almost alive. Aaron felt the warmth of the pulse spread through their chest, a steady rhythm that mirrored their heartbeat. "The signal," Elira said softly, "will reveal itself to those who are open, curious, and honest. It is not a challenge to be solved, but a dialogue to be shared." Humanity has a rare gift, our ability to feel, to imagine, and to connect. Today, we witness its culmination. Aaron placed their hands on the crystal, closing their eyes to focus. Images and feelings rushed through their mind. Landscapes stretching far beyond the horizon, alien beings moving in harmony with their surroundings, and streams of light that carried knowledge without words. The pulse of the tower resonated with their thoughts, responding to their curiosity, their empathy, and their openness. Elira watched closely, guiding Aaron gently. "Notice how it responds to your feelings, your thoughts, your intent. The signal reflects life itself. Logic alone cannot unlock it, only humanity's unique gifts can." Hours passed as they interacted with the tower, exploring patterns, following pulses, and responding with patience and creativity. The deeper they went, the more the tower revealed. Images formed of civilizations that had once thrived, of ecosystems that had harmonized with the planet itself, and of ideas that transcended time and space. At one point, Aaron realized something profound. The tower was not just a repository of knowledge. It was a mirror of humanity itself, reflecting what made humans unique, their empathy, curiosity, courage, and imagination. The tower's pulse seemed to recognize these qualities, rewarding them with new insights and patterns. Elira's voice broke softly through the silence. Do you see it, Aaron? The signal is not a tool or a message to be controlled. It is a partner. It responds to connection, understanding, and care. This is why humans are essential, not because of technology, strength, or numbers, but because of our ability to connect with life itself. Aaron nodded, their heart racing with awe. I understand now. Our uniqueness, it is not just a gift, it is our responsibility. We can learn from this, share it, and grow because of it. As they continued, a central orb of light pulsed stronger than ever. It expanded, enveloping Aaron and Elira in a gentle glow. Images and emotions flowed through them, a message of harmony, understanding, and cooperation. The alien intelligence conveyed a simple but powerful truth. Civilizations, no matter how advanced, thrive when curiosity, empathy, and connection guide them. Aaron felt tears prick their eyes. It's beautiful, they whispered. It's not just showing knowledge, it's teaching us about ourselves, about humanity. Elira smiled, her eyes reflecting the brilliance of the orb. Yes, and it has chosen to trust us to engage with us. That is an honor and a reminder of our potential. We are capable of greatness not through domination or control, but through empathy, understanding, and collaboration. The light slowly dimmed, leaving a gentle warmth in the clearing. Aaron and Elira stepped back, overwhelmed but deeply inspired. The signal had revealed its most profound secret: humanity's unique qualities, the ability to feel, to imagine, and to connect, were what allowed them to bridge worlds and understand life in ways no other species could. As they descended from the tower, Aaron turned to Elira. I can't believe we actually did it. We communicated, not just with the signal, but with something far older, wiser, and alive in a way I never imagined. Elira nodded. And we did it together. Age, experience, or caution alone would never have sufficed. It was curiosity, courage, and connection that made this possible. That is the essence of humanity. Walking back through the glowing forest, Aaron felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity's greatest strength was not technology, not power, but the ability to connect with life, to wonder, and to imagine. They thought of the colony, the twin suns, and the distant stars, understanding that the journey they had begun was only the first step. That evening, under the glow of the twin moons, Aaron and Elira stood side by side, gazing at the alien horizon. Do you think the others will understand what we've discovered? Aaron asked softly. They will, Elira said, her voice calm but confident. It will take time, patience, and guidance, but the essence of what we've learned, curiosity, empathy, creativity, is something all humans can share. The signal has shown us a path, and it will be our responsibility to guide others along it. Aaron smiled, feeling a deep warmth spread through their chest. I never imagined that humans could be so important, so unique. I've always known we were capable of wonder, but this feels like a new beginning. Elira placed a gentle hand on Aaron's shoulder. It is a new beginning. The universe is vast, filled with mysteries and life waiting to be understood. And humans, we have the gift to connect, to explore, and to learn in ways that are truly extraordinary. Together, they returned to the colony, sharing their observations, sketches, and recordings with the others. The excitement and curiosity were contagious. Scientists, engineers, and explorers alike gathered around, eager to learn, understand, and engage with the discoveries. Aaron realized that the journey had taught them more than they had ever expected, about the world, about life, and about humanity itself. Humans were not just observers, they were connectors, interpreters, and explorers in the truest sense. That night, lying beneath the twin moons, Aaron reflected on the lessons of the tower, the communicator, and the pulse of the alien signal. They thought of Elira, their partner in discovery, and the quiet bridge that had formed between them, a bridge built on curiosity, courage, and empathy. Humanity's uniqueness, Aaron realized, was timeless. Age, experience, or fear could never limit the potential of those willing to connect, to imagine, and to embrace the unknown. The pulse of the signal, the rhythm of discovery, and the light of understanding would guide them forward into a future filled with wonder, learning, and the joy of connection. As the night deepened, Aaron and Elira looked up at the stars, feeling a profound sense of purpose. The universe was vast, full of mysteries beyond imagination, but humanity had something special, an innate ability to connect, understand, and wonder. And in that, Aaron knew that whatever challenges awaited, they would meet them not with fear but with courage, creativity, and heart. For on Virlia II, under the alien stars, humanity had proven that its greatest strength was not technology or power, but its capacity to feel, to imagine, and to connect. And that was a gift no other species in the universe could match. As the twin moons shone brightly overhead, Aaron felt the warmth of possibility, the thrill of discovery, and the quiet promise that humanity's story was just beginning, and that it would shine wherever curiosity and connection led.